I'll just go right into it. Okay. So the next question was, are the allegations that Britney made in court about what she endured during her 13-year-long forced conservatorship all true? So are the allegations of what she endured true? Yes and no. Some of it was self-inflicted. So yeah, some of it was self-inflicted. So this card here sort of showing what she went through with the fire. And so if you flip it like this, right, it's like a woman on fire, pretty much. But then the fact that she looks in control, she has an air of being in control, and then she doesn't look like she's about to run, right? So it's not her full body that is showing. So the fact that her full body isn't showing kind of indicates that there's half a chance that she did not want to run, especially if it's corroborated or confirmed by the upper part of the body that looks still. I mean, it doesn't look like she's calling for help. If anything, looking at the eyes, she could as well be summoning up the fire around her, except that the fire, in fact, I'll say maybe 80% is her fault. Now, it might seem strange to Britney supporters, but that's what I'm seeing. Like, the eyes really say it all. You know, like a lot of people, they tend to sort of jump into feeling sorry for celebrities or other people without even investigating to what extent that person could really have avoided the things that they got into. So, yeah, that's what I see in a nutshell. Okay, some of the next question, some of the things that she alleged are that she had been drugged excessively with psychiatric medications, forced to sit through endless hours of psychiatric therapy, forced to overwork by having to perform a multitude of concerts against her will, and prevented from having any more children. Yes, yes, yes. Although the children aspect is a bit weird, I'm getting a yes and no. Yeah, like I'm really getting that she played the tune, like she played the music. She played the music. Um, so the part that she could not control was being in the water. They placed her there. So the water being the music industry. But then the flute, how the music is played. In other words, she could have stopped. She didn't have a choice about going in. She didn't have a choice about being told. People can tell you something, you don't have to do it. So she did not do it. And then now, all of a sudden, she has a lot of energy to do it. Like, there are many things that obviously she wanted to do before. They told her no, and she still went ahead and did it. Right. So it's like, what is the push? Maybe she had gotten to that point of being pushed, which is definitely true. And I am seeing that. So that's another aspect in which it wasn't her fault. Like, when but the thing, she would allow herself to get to a push point rather than know and understand that she is going to get to that push point, but she has to stop it before it gets there, because it's almost like she used that push point as a crutch, like that turning point, that point of no return as a crutch, that I'm gonna wait till I can hold it no longer, and then I'm gonna blow out of everything I've been holding since I was like 13, right? So it's like waiting for the perfect opportunity to address missed opportunities of even back, way back, way back. Grudges that certain, and I'm, see, when I'm talking about this, I'm not just talking about the conservatorship, but like she has wrapped everything up into one. In other words, if she offended you in the past, and then you did something in retaliation, she would only hold on to what you did and hold it as a grudge and then tie it in with all these things about her conservatorship, all these, the music, all the music, the songs of blackmail that her father or her manager did, and the music, let's say certain execs did, that she got along with them when it suited her. So when she was able to play, she got along. Then when competition, especially competition of younger, when I say young, I'm really not talking about age, because she looks young for her age anyway. She's looked young for her age, but I'm talking about fresh talent, like new on the block, people whose faces haven't been seen yet, and therefore people haven't been used to them. Yeah, so she does use these songs, i.e. the conservatorship issues, to renew her image, like to renew her face. It's almost as if she's very well aware that people get bored of a celebrity, so she feels that this is why she holds on. She allows it to drag, and allowed it to drag for so long, so that, okay, I can see they might be getting bored of this image of me. Let me renew it. Let me pull something out of my bag of tricks that the conservatorship did, right? That I can tell them about. So it's like the conservatorship being the fire, right? Fire, but then it's like fire on top of a book, on top, like next to a pencil. So she can write. She can write any kind of fire. She can write she can write out any kind of fiery story for her audience, and they'll read it, and then they'll go ahead to feel sorry for her, as though she had nothing to do with it, but she did have a role to play in it. And in fact, she has been the author for the longest time. Okay, so next question. What is the real reason or story, about why and how Britney's conservatorship was put into place? So the first thing I'm getting is it's all lies. I don't know what it's all lies, but I suspect, because that's the main energy I'm getting, what she tends to tell people about how it started and all of that. Like, I'm sensing like it's almost like she requested, kind of like, this money, this attention, it's too much for me. I don't want to deal with this. You deal with it. You do this. And then when the idea of something initially, it would have started like something similar. It may not have been called conservatorship, but another name for it, essentially, definitely involving psychiatric or some kind of mental health attention. So way back then. And now, because I guess the tide has changed, and she's seen that people, the masses, they've started like sort of, they tend to take on causes for celebrities. Because remember, when Britney started in the industry way back then, it wasn't so common for people to take up causes for a celebrity. It wasn't. People were pretty much like aggravated by celebrities. They didn't want to see them except they were a fan. But now, all of a sudden, even if you're not a fan, there's other energies, there's other paradigms attached to loving that celebrity, including, like, even if, okay, even if I don't like her music, I appreciate the way she stands up for women's rights, right? Women's rights. So under the umbrella of, let's say, women's rights, anyone can come in, including the new and renewed Britney's peers, who had previously accepted to be under some form of control, and now all of a sudden it's been renamed a conservatorship. Yeah. So that's what I'm getting, really. So to answer your question, definitely she was overwhelmed, the pressure. Yeah. Okay, so the next question, is it true that a well-known female Hollywood business manager named Lou Taylor was in cahoots with Britney's dad, Jamie, and Britney's long-term manager, Larry Rudolph, to ensure that the conservatorship of Britney lasted as long as possible, so that the three of them could gain financially as much as possible from the conservatorship? I don't see that at all. Yeah, I don't see that. I don't see that she was out of the picture. I mean, she's still there. Like, this card, this is them, the people you've mentioned, Larry Rudolph and the rest. This is them, and then this is her. So if anything, if you want to talk about the conservatorship being some form of like estate where there are shares, she holds 50%. She on her own holds 50% of the shares. In other words, if she wanted to disband it, she could, because the rest and more coming in or leaving, they would they would manage the rest of the shares. But she remains the constant holder of 50%. Okay, so next question. One of the allegations that Britney has made is that it was actually the mother, Lynn, who originally gave her dad, Jamie, the idea to put Britney into a conservative. Yes, yes, definitely. That part is true. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, definitely. But like I said earlier, yeah, so even perfect. So this card here, right? So it's like, let me even say this. So it started with her mother giving the idea, and then Britney took the control, and she took the 50% share that her mother had. So this being her mother or representing her mother, but then it becoming Britney. Yeah, in the end. So, because her mother cared about her. I mean, believe it or not, whatever people might say, her mother cared, and she still does. And even now, she's wondering why Britney has turned like to a different story, that it wasn't a conservatorship. Like, she's just wondering what's going on or what has been going on. Yeah, why things have turned out the way they have. Because it all started in her. I mean, look at this card right here. Her wanting to preserve, first of all, Britney's image, her portrait, like keeping her healthy, right? Because this woman looks pale, healthy, not the sickly kind of pale, but because like way back then, and again, what I'm getting way back, it starts from the past, way back then, like this kind of paleness doesn't signify being sick. It signifies being healthy to them, being beautiful. She wanted to preserve Britney's beauty, but she couldn't because the story got turned. Well, Britney got that percentage, right, of her. I guess like Britney took over her opinion and then pushed her aside. And then all of a sudden it became about Britney. But she wanted to preserve Britney's beauty, her youthfulness, her bounciness, like her energy, her ability to sing, i.e., like her vision, in her gifts, right? And her achievements, like what was in the past, what she's already achieved and built. She wanted to preserve all of that. So if anything, if there's supposed to be a bad guy in this whole conservative issue, I would say Britney and her father. Yeah, those are the main ones. They pushed her aside, her mother. Yeah. And Britney's money. I mean, just look at this card. It's so perfect. She wanted to preserve Britney's money. Yeah. And all of that I've mentioned. Okay, so next question. Did Britney's parents, Jamie and Lynn, ever have any good intentions of for putting Britney into a conservatorship? Yeah, like I just explained, definitely the mother. The mother certainly did. She really, really did. And I'm reading your question back again. So the previous question, that Britney said her dad isn't smart enough to have come up with the idea of the conservatorship on his own. Yeah, I mean, sort of, I guess the way the question is phrased, or maybe like the way she did say it, is that her mother did it. Her mother, like pointing an accusatory, but her mother did it, yes. But that's the thing with uh Britney and her sister, even. They manipulate their parents and especially the mother a lot. Yeah. They're like evil twins, her and her sister. So I'm even like there's a lot that they're even hiding from their parents that they want to bring out in the future. So basically like put all the blame about their activities, even things that their parents may not know about, like murder, on their parents. Yeah, like they push them to it. Okay. Yeah, so the mother definitely had good intentions. As for the father, he was neither here nor there. So, if someone is not really standing and they're just like neither here nor there, they can be used for good or evil. And in this case, definitely evil because, he's made himself the scapegoat and that has also fallen on the mother. Okay. So yeah, were they genuinely concerned about her mental health and worried that Britney might hurt herself and possibly die like they claim? Yes, yes, yes. Or did they see the conservatorship as a full way to get full access to Britney's money? Not at all, not at all. I mean, again, back to this. Her mother saw her, Britney, holding the money. So it wasn't even a question of anyone else or anything else in the horizon. In fact, One could even say, okay, maybe the mother was doing this for herself, for the future. But no, even in the future, like in the horizon, it's a building. It's a building, it's cloud. And a cloud is the texture of a cloud is akin to someone's image, the aura, the music, the song, because you can't touch a song. You just like you can't touch smoke, like that's up there. You can't really hold it in your hands like that, just like you can't hold music, right? So this card is so perfect for the state of everything. Like Britney's mom did not want this, even for the future. Like just the far flung future, it was all for Britney, so that her empire. So there's a building there as well, so that her empire would stand. Yeah, yeah. So Britney holding the money. Britney holding the money. Okay, next question. It has also been alleged that Hollywood business manager Lou Taylor used some of Britney's money to fund other celebrities. Yes, definitely. But he asked her. He asked her. Other celebrities like the Kardashians. Yes, yes, yes. It's true. He asked her though. He asked her. Okay, so you're asking, if so, what other celebrities were funded by Britney's money? I will say this. If Britney goes back into the conservatorship, it's because of her. Like, she will not let the past rest, even though people are already holding a grudge on her for the fact that she's barely told her role in the story. Like, she has 50% of shares to blame. So what does she really mean by stirring up the past? It's like, you do know we can expose you, right? And tell all these your fans and your newly resurfaced activists that you have the blame. We have recordings, we have pictures of you telling us, like, this contract is not harsh enough. I really need you to make it as harsh as possible so that I do not fall off the rails. Yeah. So it's definitely not to say that the parents or the managers or whoever did in front of her did not take advantage. And I think that's part of what really actually irks her, in the fact that they didn't take advantage of cutting off her freedom, but they did take advantage in her money. So siphoning out, because if someone tells you, take my phone, I can sense I'm about to text my ex. Take my phone. I really don't want it next to me, right? And you do them a real favor, really, and you take their phone. Now, along the line, you get tempted because they still tell you want to give them back the phone a day later, right? You come back, you give it to them, and they're telling you, no, 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 I don't want it. But at the same time, they're not telling you when they're going to get it back. So you're left in limbo. So what it means is then that creates an energy of, wait, it's an ambiguous energy. And there's a saying, nature abhors a vacuum. Had she told them, I want to be in this conservative for 10, 15 years, and then after that, I feel as though I'm going to be on my feet, they would have accepted with a full condition of not even touching her money, but creating an image of themselves for themselves alone that would enable them to get that amount of money. But when she leaves things ambiguous, or when a person leaves things ambiguous, I've talked about the spiritual realm a lot of times. Energy is energy and energy matters. If there's an ambiguous energy is like mud or like concrete or like bare land. You can build anything on land that is not occupied. I mean, you can build anything on something that is occupied already, talk less of land that is unoccupied. Ambiguous energy is the equivalent of unoccupied land. Like when I say unoccupied, I don't mean it doesn't belong to anyone. I mean there's nothing or hardly anything. So this energy, ambiguous energy being there, being very much present, it meant they also could bask in that energy of ambiguity, right? So the energy of ambiguity was transferred to them thinking or coming to believe over time. Because after a day, after a year, and then 10 years, she's still not saying anything. Okay, I guess I can help myself because, see, again, with ambiguity, you can call yourself family and you won't find anything wrong with it because she likewise or the person has not put any set rules that say you're my father, but in this respect with regards to my conservatorship you are like my lawyer, right? Therefore, let's not blur the lines. You're my father at home and you're this here, right? But when there's ambiguity and you're even willing to say, oh, buy me a sandwich, like in the same way that you would talk to your father. And let's say if he threatens to quit because he's not getting paid properly, you say things like, well, you've got my conservatorship, the papers, you can just get some money out of there. Like, why are you stressing me? There's no need to be like that. You don't need to stress. You've done a lot for me. You've done so much for me. Help me, help me. So, like, let's say if the father wants, and I'm saying this, he wants to hand over the papers back to her, or back to, let's say, he would even go so far as to find a new manager and give her. She would not only reject the new manager because under the under the excuse of the new manager doesn't know her like the father does. Okay, so now draw the lines. Here is your contract, here is your payment, right? If that is what you're upset about, which he never hid from her, he was upset about how much he was getting paid. He never did. So it's like, okay, since it's money you want, let's draw up a new contract. But no, she wouldn't put it in clear terms. It's like, but daddy, like, you've got the keys to my contract. So take it. Like, take it. You don't need to make it so formal. So of course it's gonna be ambiguous. If there's no face to the way she interacts with him, then obviously there will be no face in the way he interacts with whatever she owns, which is mainly money. So it's kind of like that, that very blurry lines that she knew activists would not buy into. Online activists would not buy into if she were to tell them the finer details of the story. So having said that, if she does go back into conservatorship, it's her fault. She definitely doesn't want to be separated from her father. Yeah. Because the games she plays, it's only him who can tolerate it, not anyone else. And I think I've done a reading on Britney before. I appreciate your questions. Your questions definitely help because, like I've said before, constantly redoing readings it helps a lot because there's so much of this that I didn't really see the finer details back when I did a previous reading. So new questions definitely help, right? So if you have any more questions based on what I've said, feel free to ask me after you've watched the readings. But it's just amazing because the last time I did a reading on her, Britney, I do remember that some of her fans actually attacked me because I distinctly remember still finding some of her being responsible for something or another, right? Within the conservative, and people did not believe me or like the reading that I did. So it's kind of funny that, I mean, whether people believe this reading or not, it doesn't really matter to me. I just find it interesting whenever the theme continues, whenever I do like the readings on the same topic, like the recurrent themes. And for her, definitely like this recurrent theme, I remember picking it up back then, and even now I'm still picking, like, she's at fault, or at least not for 100%, definitely not, but let's say like 80%, 50%, at least 50, she's at fault. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so which other celebrities? So, okay, Kardashians. I'm saying Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber. Nicki Minaj as well. Someone being funded, it doesn't mean that they didn't have money. It just means they did not have enough. Yeah. And Hollywood sometimes or often they pull their resources to help an oncoming act and then they reap the rewards. Even if it's just like 5% or 0.1% for 3 years, right? That's still money. So it's like investing. Yeah. This is like her money was used a lot, Britney's money, to invest in shares. The shares being not buildings or things, people's careers rather. Yeah, invest in shares. Justin Bieber, Nicki Minaj, I'm picking up. Uh Cardi B. Yeah, yeah. So that's just a few. I mean, I'm not seeing any other, but it doesn't mean there are not. I'm seeing like 100, like a whole line of others, but it was very minimal, very minimal. Uh, Like these ones that I've listed, Justin Bieber, Nicki Minaj, Cardi B, it's like maybe 5% of her money that was invested in them. Then the others, it was like 0.1, 0.5%. So it doesn't really matter. For the Kardashians as well, it was like 6%. I don't know why these figures are coming up, but I guess it's just to mitigate. Like she didn't invest much in light of what other people or other producers even might invest. Lady Gaga as well. Lady Gaga, yeah, Lady Gaga. So I guess that's just these details coming up because it's these upcoming acts, and I know they've been there for decades. I've seen them come up, so I'm not trying to downplay them, but it's seeing the success that has emboldened her to learn not to take the responsibility that she has in the conservatorship. It's like the more money or the more acts that were created, right? And it's not even that they were created. I mean, 5% is not much. Like when if others are willing to invest 90% or even 100%, right? I guess like maybe they just invested that in order to gain some notoriety way back then. Like let's say producers collaborating, but that's it. Like she didn't really have much to offer, if anything, really. So the fact that she was sort of like high-handed with some of these celebrities even, and then that really pushed her to, I guess, play the victim in its entirety with regards to the conservatorship. Uh, okay, so your next question is, if true, are the Kardashians not as rich as they portray themselves to be? No, no, they are. But like I just explained, that's just routine in Hollywood. Like they invest all the time. I mean, in fact, even if someone had a billion, I mean, look at Elon Musk. Elon Musk still takes loans. Yeah, he still takes loans to fund his projects. Uh, Okay, so next question. So no, I don't see the Kardashians having financial trouble. If anything, they're high up. They're high up. Okay, next question. It was reported that Britney's dad, Jamie and Lou Taylor, became romantically involved at one point. They still are. They still are. Yeah. Yeah, they still are. So like the glasses, it's like mating, right? They still are. Okay, next question. Is it true that millions upon millions of Britney's money has been stolen from her? Yes, definitely. That's the part that she hates, and actually why it just lit the fire under her, and then she went on a rampage to accuse everyone. Okay, so your next question, if so, who stole it and how much was stolen? Not a much, not a lot. Um, it was a lot, but in light of what she made them go through and what she has made them go through, even till date, it is not a lot. So it's like if you had asked me to do this reading way back then, when the story of the conservatorship first came out initially, I would have said they stole a lot. Now, what the cards are revealing is the passage of time has revealed that she would be willing, like, if she's willing to feed them to the dogs without paying them for holding her secret, and she knows that they would like or want that money to hold her secret. Like they've been asking her in not directly, but like subliminally, and she says no through her silence, right? Then it means she is actually robbing them, not the other way around. So not a lot. So the passage of time reveals it's not actually a lot because they've been through hell and back for her to keep her secret. Yeah. And maintain her image. Okay, so next question. Will they be brought to justice for stealing? I do definitely see them being brought to justice in court, but she'll still bail them out. Like they she'll still bail them out. Yeah. Like I said, she's not done. Even with her father, she isn't done. Okay, next question. It's reported that Britney's net worth is somewhere between 60 million and 570 million. Let me see. and between 570 million. Hmm? Sorry, it's been reported that her net worth is somewhere between $60 million and $70 million. This seems extremely low for someone for her level of fame, the number of years that she's been famous, and the amount of revenue her concerts and albums have generated over the years. Yeah, yeah, definitely. That's because of her. Offshore accounts, like the whole her cookie actually, which is like the money bank, it's separate. It's separate, but it looks like it's all in one, right? Like all in one account or all in one like revenue, and that we can see it all, the whole picture. But no, this is it. Like, sorry, this is it. Like the 70 or whatever is said, this is that part here, this one here, and then the rest is here. Yeah, in offshore accounts. Okay, next question. Why did Britney decide to marry her new husband, Sam Asghari, recently in 2022? They had been dating for 5 years prior to getting married. Did Sam manipulate Britney into getting married? No, no, no. It's not possible to manipulate Britney. It's not. She's just played into that image one too many times. Okay, next. Or did Britney marry Sam as a strategy to keep her family from ever being able to put her under a conservatorship again? It's not. It's not to keep her under away from a conservatorship, because from what I see, this guy, he's also capable of drawing up a new conservatorship for her, right? So like act like an angel, because he is. He's somewhat like a Hollywood producer or agent, very much undercover, very much undercover. So yeah, a handler. So he very much could. So he's not like, he's not the remedy to the conservatorship of her father, but he is a way to, I guess, to hold the story for a while. The story that she had no role to play in what her father did. So yeah, it's to render the story, her story, credible. Okay, next question. Britney's wedding was a little strange. None of the guests were from her family. It was said that her two sons didn't attend because they refused to see her until she gets mental help. Yeah, yeah, that part is true. I mean, because she's a manipulator. She's a manipulator. And none of her long-term friends from childhood were at the wedding either. Also, during their wedding reception, Britney was running around the dance floor wearing a tuxedo jacket with nothing but a thong underneath. Was Britney's wedding a fraud? No, no, absolutely not. I mean, I don't see it being a fraud at all. Yeah, again, like she has part responsibility, and now her husband has, old Sam has part responsibility. But then this is what she does, like a bit like Meghan Markle. She juggles things and people and situations. She juggles situations in order to control people. So this situation of the marriage and even like the money, the narrative about her money and her worth, it's enough to keep her low, because if people think her worth is less than what she is, then people will flock to her concerts. People will buy her stuff because they'll feel sorry for her. And that will work until she either gets bored or she senses that people are getting bored. And then the narrative shifts to she wants to get a divorce because he's not, she's not feeling well about the marriage and the level of control that he's starting to have over her, which is just not true. Like, she bends the truth of he, even as was, he has control and he's always had control. She knew that, but she can flip it. So she holds things in until it's time to switch so that people see her in a better light, and especially her fans. So having said that, no, I do not see that the wedding is a fraud at all, because she needs to make it serious, especially since her family members have refused to play with her in this game of them taking all the blame and then her looking like the princess. Okay, so next question. Does Britney have a prenuptial agreement in yes, 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 yes. Yes, she does. She does. Yeah. If so, what are the terms of the prenuptial agreement? That he will not control her. That he will not control her. So like he'll let her run wild. He'll let her run wild. Yeah, like the card shows. But he's more likely to lose out because guess what? If you insure someone like this, right? And the person goes ahead to have an accident, guess who pays out? Especially if in the insurance statement, it is this person that holds the that runs things. Like the person has put in the contract and made you, the insurance company, agree to it that, oh, no matter what kind of stunts I do, even if like I'm willing to set myself on fire, but you're going to protect me. So is the person like it doesn't matter what the person does, there'll always be a payment incoming. So it's like yeah, yeah, he stands to lose more than her. Um, okay, next question. Does Sam have genuine caring feelings for Britney? He does. I mean, as much as she does for him. Yeah. Okay, it's been rumored that he's using her and is only with her for the perks that her money and fame bring. I mean, yes and no. It's like he does want to control her, but he also wants to be the angel that looks over her back. So kind of like snow or ice and fire. Um, yeah, and is he using her? I mean, again, here it's really both. Like he's using her as much as she's using him. So it's a duality. It's a duality. Yeah. Okay. Next question. Is Sam manipulative and abusive to Britney, like people have suspected? No, absolutely not. I mean, really, I'm gonna say this because that's what I'm seeing, and I won't mince my words. If there's anything like on her body, she's done it to herself. Yeah, which is possible. So, anyone watching this that thinks it's not, it's possible. It's possible. Um, okay, so next question. And part of the reason why it wouldn't be him, like what I'm picking up, he really doesn't care. Like she likes to pick, I mean, just like Kevin Federline, I think his name is. She likes to pick nonchalant guys or nonchalant women because she's bi from others. Like she likes to pick people who are cool, calm, collected, yeah, and not aggressive in a way. She prefers to be the aggressive one in a relationship. Yeah. So if there's even any abuse, it's either her on herself or her on him, not the reverse. Okay. Next question. Shortly after Britney and Sam got married, they bought a new house. Everyone assumed that they had moved into the new house together, but that doesn't appear to be the case because Britney continues to post social media videos of her where she appears to still be living in her old house, which is a pretty outdated looking house. And some social media videos show him in the new house. Right, I mean, that's the exact dynamic. He is in the new house, she isn't. So it means she wants to control the narrative, whereas he is willing to keep up with, I guess, whatever story she wants to weave. She isn't. She's like, she wants to keep the rumors, the ambiguity. She wants to keep the ambiguity going. So that from one day to the next, if she decides she's bored with it, then she can turn back to ice rather than the fire. So it's this kind of middle. Literally, she is this, she is this. And she's trying to pretend that he creates fire, whereas it's her creating the fire. So yes, they do live in separate homes until she decides to go where he is. Okay, next question. Also, shortly after Britney and Sam got married, Britney excitedly announced that she was pregnant, and then later she announced that she had a miscarriage. Was her pregnancy real or fake? Fake. She's really a manipulator. I mean, this isn't new. This isn't new. And really, the reading I did back way back then on her, it hasn't changed at all whatsoever. Like, because I don't remember the particulars of that reading I did. I don't even remember the questions back then. It wasn't as detailed as the questions here today, right? But it's just funny because even when I was doing that general reading, she was at the forefront of her problems. So, and then I remember just like her fans having a problem with what I was saying because they just, I guess, couldn't believe it, but it's true. And I'm not going to mince my words. Like, she's a dangerous woman to be with. But again, I wouldn't blame it completely on her. It's like with Meghan Markle. If you feed the beast, well, it's a beast. It's gonna grow, and a beast will do what a beast is going to do. So they shouldn't feed her. They should, for example, if she is willing to go to another house, even though she's the one who suggested they get a new one, then he is supposed to move somewhere else as well, and let people also speculate about whether he has moved out of the family residence, not just her. So, like, don't let it be only her who is controlling the narrative. Like, let people speculate about you. Like with the parents, let people speculate about the fact about her role in controlling you. You are her parents. You being her parents doesn't mean you are the only ones capable of controlling her. I'm pretty sure children can control parents as well, but they won't let that happen. Like, they just protect her image, and then obviously they get burnt in the fire, mainly because they don't actually believe with her image. And just like her face, she doesn't give the appearance of someone who could turn around and then twist the knife. Yeah, she doesn't give that appearance until she does, and by then it's too late for them to wake up to it. So yeah, it was fake from it's yeah, fake. Fake. Yeah, fake. Like imagination. Imagination. I think the cards can be seen. Yeah. Yeah. Imagination. Um what is Britney's relationship like with Sam's family? It's good. It's good. I mean, unlike Sam, the family don't play with her. So ironically, I mean, it might seem weird, but it's good. Like if you refuse to play with someone and fall into the games that they play, you can actually get along. You just need to know when to speak with each other, and that's it. As opposed to falling in the mud and playing with the person and getting dirty and things being messy, right? It's best to just stay above the fray and be cordial. So they do get along, even better than with Sam. Um Next question. Will Britney and Sam's marriage end in divorce? Yes, categorically. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if it's soon. Yeah. Like the energy gives a spirit, the spiritual energy is that of like tomorrow, even tomorrow. Yeah. Uh, Not the physical realm tomorrow, but like it's imminent in the sense that she's fed up of it. Yeah. So it could be tomorrow, it could be next week, anytime, any day. 5 years, but within those 5 years, she's already packed out, cleaned her image, and is willing to get on. So, I mean, the definition of divorce is very different, but I guess it just means like breaking up for the definitive future, and that's what she's done. Okay, next question. Will the marriage destroy what is left of Britney's already vulnerable and fragile side? No, she's not vulnerable, not from what I'm seeing anyway. Yeah, yeah, I don't see her vulnerable. Like, even when these types of cards, like seemingly vulnerable, there's still fire and there's still like a strong type energy, and then in comes this card again all over again, like her role, she's got shares in her own fire, in her own misery. She's got shares. Yeah, she's got shares in it. um okay, next question. Will Britney be left in financial ruin from the marriage? I don't, no, no, no. If anything, it's going to increase her finances. Yeah, yeah. It'll increase her shares because a good portion of the public will is going to buy into the narrative she will weave against him. Next question. Britney has said that she did everything that she could to make her two sons, Sean Preston and Jaden James, happy. But to her, it just seemed like all that she did was never enough for them. And she mentioned that when her sons would come visit her, one of them, Sean Preston, would stay in his bedroom the whole time. I mean, that's what children do. That's what children like. This is what I mean. She weaves a narrative that it just paints others in a different light, and then she allows the public to cast that light as something negative, as opposed to the, oh, that's normal. I mean, sure, it's not good in the sense of children need to respect their parents and be kind. Be good. Yeah, be kind and good. Absolutely, I wouldn't deny that. So it's like if she was hurt, if that is what hurt and offended her, by all means be hurt and offended. Actually, the cards wouldn't see absolutely anything wrong with it, but it's just the manipulation around it. Like, yeah, as if it's aimed at her and what she's done wrong, and therefore it is tied into the conservatorship and what the conservatorship made her become, which means she wasn't allowed to look after them well enough for them to like her. Whereas, no, no, cut it off from the conservatorship. This has nothing to do with it. They just don't like you because you haven't been present. And you being not present has nothing to do with the conservatorship. Maybe it just so happens you were not a motherly mother, and that's the case for many women who have never ever been in all their lives under any kind of conservatorship. So it's just like about presence. She can be, and she is a very, let me say, like impatient person. Let me put it this way: if you're a superstar and you've really grown up being adored, and then your children do not adore you, because guess what? Children don't adore their parents. Not until they're grown enough and they see and realize the sacrifices or the love their parents have poured out for them, right? So if the parent pours out love one or two times and the children do not reciprocate, it just it doesn't mean they hate or they don't see what you've done. Well, it does mean that, but it doesn't add up with their age. Like, they're not doing it on purpose. They still need to mature to be at your level, whereby they see just how much effort you're doing, seeing as you've just become a mother, right? Kind of like that. But then they don't, or at least even they're intelligent enough for you to talk to them, but she doesn't. She doesn't talk to them. She doesn't sit them down like a grown adult and just talk to them. She prefers to throw a tantrum. So, in other words, if they refuse to pay attention to her and like they're just playing a video game, she's just gonna go and slam herself in a door, like in a room, slam the door in a room. And if you slam a door and you're giving off the energy to your child or to your children that you don't want to see them, the child is not going to remember what they've just done to you, right? Let's say they refuse to taste your recipe, something as simple as that. Like, they just refuse because, oh, mom, I'm busy, I want to play my games, I don't want to taste that. Oh, that's nasty, it smells. Like, that's something that is so uncommon for a child to remember that they've just hurt and offended you. Like, if they had told you to shut up and they were angry enough, right, to really mean it in that way, then they would sense that they've really offended you, especially if they see your face. But if they're just simply just like, they're not even looking at you, so it's not even aimed at you, like the hatred. It's more that it's not a hatred aimed at her. It's more that it's a nonchalance that, oh, I want to focus on this. So it's not against her, it's not for her, it's just not for her, right? But she finds offense in that. And for something as simple as refusing to taste her recipe whilst they're playing their games, right? Which they find more. Now, instead of her, sorry about the noise. Now, instead of her finding it easier and much more, let me say, motherly and loving and actually responsible enough to focus, sorry about the noise, I don't know if you can hear that, to focus on the game. Like, let's say, gosh, I hope it's not going to drown my voice. Like, if she, right, decides, okay, I'm going to focus on the game since this is what my children I want to focus on, she chooses to throw a tantrum. And she really should not be doing these things, especially since she has accused her parents and her father of neglect. So if she really knows and understands what neglect is, then she would know that her children just want her to spend time with them rather than things being pushed on them, like, oh, taste my food and whatever, kind of thing that she wants to do. She would recognize the things that her parents did that she did not want them to do, and not do it with her children, right? Pay attention to them rather than become angry because they said no to her. It's like, if you're willing to complain that your parents got angry when you said no to them, how much more will your children also, like, understand that your children might also be upset or angry if you turn your back on them because they said no to you, and for something as, which is even worse than her parents, like for something like a recipe, that she wants them to taste. So it's things like those, like, her being worse than her parents but not being willing to realize it because of her narcissism. Yeah. So, like, she would slam the door and not even tell them anything is wrong. Or, like, she wouldn't even tell them initially. She wouldn't even tell them initially that something is wrong. She would just let them believe that, oh, everything's okay, and smile and even give them a kiss and then go and slam the door. Like, children aren't supposed to live through that. You either tell them outright that they've upset you and you form communication bonds with them, or you just leave them alone, which is what she's done. But then her leaving them alone and then coming back again full circle to accuse them of neglecting her, it's wrong. It's wrong. I'm gonna stop the reading here because just of the noise. I'm not sure if you can hear that. I think there's like a plane fair or something of that nature. Oh, okay, well, let me finish reading the question since it stopped. Sean and Jaden say that okay, Jaden has a strong talent for playing the piano. Britney is very proud and supportive of his piano playing talent. Yes, that she definitely is. Okay. Sean and Jaden say that they have over the years asked their mom not to post them online and for her to stop posting pictures and videos of her scantily clad online. So this is the thing. She doesn't listen to them when they want to play their games, but she finds it an issue when they are telling her to do something that concerns her. So it's like her life, her body belongs to her, but their lives and their bodies do not belong to them because she's their mother. Yeah. Let me continue. Okay, yeah. So they say that she has ignored their request. Yes, I mean she has, yeah. And that they want her to get well mentally before they are willing to see her again. What is the real cause of Britney's estrangement from her teenage sons? So yeah, I think I've explained it in detail. The reason for the estrangement. She's selfish. Yeah, it's as simple as that. She's selfish. She's selfish. Yeah. Let me touch on the last question for this video. Does Britney's ex-husband have any sympathy for Britney and all that she has been going through with the separation from their two sons, the conservatorship that she has suffered under for 13 years, and the mental health toll that she seems under? He knows her role in it. In fact, even more than her parents do, because there are times when Kevin would have told her or wanted her to get a new lawyer that her parents would have no idea. In other words, Kevin, would even say, he would buy into what she's saying about her parents. So he would say, I'm willing to protect you. In fact, I'm willing to, you keep quiet. I will go to the media so that if there's a fallout, I'm willing to bear the blame, right? So let me protect you. You get a new lawyer and your parents don't have to know. So even if your parents and whatever handlers they recruit, even if they want to run your name down in the mud, in the media, through like obscure media channels, I will protect you. I will keep insisting that, look, my wife isn't even talking because she feels so distraught, right? She's so sad. That's why she's not talking. I will stand in the line of fire. She's refused. She's refused over and so it's like he recognizes that her parents are not even aware that he has done things that would put them in the line of fire and remove them from her life. They're not even aware, but he is. So it's like The opportunities, every opportunity to stay away from the parents, he's given to her, she refused to take. So he, more than them even, he recognizes how much of a role she has played in her own demise. Yeah. I'm gonna stop the reading here because the noise is really disturbing me. I really hope that you were able to hear my voice for this last part. I'll continue in the next videos.